Hi there, my name is Kieran Sini. I'll be talking about today's topic, in which relates to the big question in the context of having visionary leaders creating transformation. And in this certain case, I'll be talking about my rational actions and how that will create transformations for my essential future. So, first of all, rational actions is what actually builds up the smaller things that come up into my life as I go. For example, I am basically a student, and lots of actions must be taken in order to at least ensure that most things should be done. Like, first of all, there's two things that are focused on school life, in which I think is the most prominent one. First one being the educational section or the academic section, or the second one is the social part. So, first of all, when we come into terms of having educational decisions, in which I can probably say is like mostly talking about your time management and how you would focus on those essential assignments, is individually on how you can decide on whether to do it correctly based on the time that you have and also the ability that you have. By this, I mean that if you conduct these assignments correctly with the correct time management and what you're capable of doing it, like based on what you can do, essentially you can be improving slowly, and that would definitely impact on how you would do future assignments and how you would also consider the mistakes that you make through them. Some cases of this not being the correct way of doing so is, first of all, when it comes to doing the assignments, there's like sort of ways that you can actually create such a negative behavior, in which could be plagiarism. That's one thing. And second of all is not being able to prioritize what's important and what's not. Okay, so let's move on to the social aspect. So the social aspect is basically at school, whether you can also manage the academic life at school and also the social one, because it's like socially at school, you have to be also prominent in that to actually be quite managed at school. What this means is that when you have a social life at school, you can actually socialize and also work through most things that require group work, because in high school, essentially, mostly focuses more on like having teamwork and like team based objectives, in which require good amounts of socializing and so on. And how this may impact you in the future, of course, because we're talking about the big question and how such rational actions could transform you in the near future. By doing so, it actually prepares me, individual as a person, with the action that I'm doing, is that I could learn to slowly integrate these social interactions and also these aspects into somewhat my mindset, where I can put it into the work field when I finally step into that world. And through that, I can actually learn what I've made mistakes back in the past, and how usually I would be much of an introvert back then, and I probably still am, but slowly it's transforming me to at least integrate on how to be more open and more social to people, in which I can create connections, I can create teamwork, I can create other things that may benefit me during my life at school, in which I can have both emotional and academic support through the um, social aspect of school. So that's basically just an insight on what I think would be how I could transform through these rational actions, in which it could prove that the big question of the school is essentially correct. And that's all. Thank you.